Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Business Spotlight, the podcast where we shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and business leaders in the community. I'm your host, Craig Whipperman, with Music City Action Coach, and today we are excited to introduce to you someone who is devoted to inspiring others right here in Nashville. Our guest today is Tay Schiebe, owner and founder of With Love. We'll dive into Tay's background, explore the challenges she's faced, and the successes she celebrated. Whether you're a fellow entrepreneur, an aspiring business owner, or simply someone who loves to support local businesses, this conversation is sure to inspire and inform. So without further ado, let's welcome Tay to the podcast. Tay, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for being on. So inspiring others with love.
That's right.
That's perfect. How did you get to where you're at? Tell us a little bit about inspiring others and maybe with love.
Yeah, absolutely. I started with Love in 2012 in Jacksonville, Florida. And that is because I wanted to do something to give back to the community there. As a childhood cancer survivor, I was dead set on, giving back to the hospital and making sure that the kids had some new toys to feel comforted during their treatment journey. However, I had no idea that it was going to lead to this lifelong mission. So I put together a simple toy drive, delivered it for Valentine's Day in 2012, and the rest is history.
Oh, that's awesome. So you felt motivated, inspired to give back to the doctors and the place where you were cared for
Yes.
at the time you were experiencing the cancer. And so what years, when were you first diagnosed?
So I was first diagnosed in 2001,
Hmm.
September 2001, and I would relapse the next year. I had large cell lymphoma both times. My first diagnosis, I only did chemo, and my second diagnosis, I had to do radiation and then a bone marrow transplant. And that was very significant for me. Um, I think that was probably my second my second battle was more so forming in that later on in life, that's what I would kind of focus in on what I wanted to give back to the kids, which was having to grow up so fast and kind of losing that sense of identity as a
Hmm.
kid.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So in 2001, what grade were you in?
so I was actually ending my fourth grade year, going into my fifth grade year.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's really something. I, I had a good friend die on the eve of his 30th birthday in oh my gosh, it's been so long ago, 1989, I want to say, something like that. No, it's had to be earlier than that, but nonetheless, and I that's the first person I knew who even had cancer. I mean, I don't remember knowing a lot of people. Now today, it's like I can't tell you how many people I know who've had
Everyone,
cancer.
you're connected somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say this: I don't know many kids who have had cancer, and now I've met you, and I'm sure it's pretty traumatic to go through that experience when you're in the fourth grade.
Yeah, it's definitely something that was never talked about. Cancer was like not anywhere near my radar. Um,
Right.
especially back then, almost 23 years ago. And I just remember kind of thinking it was going to be another doctor visit, just going to be sick for a little bit, but you'll take some medicine, you'll maybe get a shot, and you'll be better. I did not know the extent of the treatment or
Hmm.
what I was actually going to be going through. Um, so yeah, big shocker then at 10 years old. not like you said, you didn't know of anyone, right? I've never
Hmm.
heard of it. And then to be like a kid, I have to go through this? Are you like,
Yeah.
no way? So,
Right. Well, so I would imagine it, I can only imagine it slowed you down, if you had a very active, child life, uh, off playing sports and all, you probably had to slow it down and maybe skip some seasons or,
yeah, I was big into dance, competitive, loved my dance family. It was kind of my identity at the time, right? Like traveling and just dancing in a group and having the same costumes and same hairstyle and makeup and that was like my life. And so to have that taken away almost overnight, you know, losing your hair, being isolated, um, not being able to see your friends, yet alone go to practice, you know. So it was just the biggest, like, I think, identity crisis for me, right? Like just not knowing who Tay was. And
Mhm.
at 10 years old, you know, you're not supposed to know exactly who you are, but you do have a sense of these are the things I love and enjoy, and they make me happy. And to have them stripped away so soon, now what? What
Mhm.
makes me happy, you know? So,
Right. Right. And then, um, so, when did you get a clean bill of health or have you gotten a clean bill of health?
yeah, so I officially rang the bell after my bone marrow transplant, but I had to be monitored until I was 21.
Hmm.
And that's when I like to declare myself as fully in remission. Um, because there were no more scans, there were no more like post-treatment biopsies, spinal taps, all of that stuff. So I was declared cancer-free by determination of my bone marrow transplant in October of 2002. But whenever I became adult, so 21, and graduated from peds to adult oncology is when I like to say that that was when I officially felt like, okay, it's not going to come back. Like
Yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah.
Um, and that's when I decided to give back to celebrate that. And yeah.
Yeah. So, and you said in Jacksonville, right? Is where,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And so
Uh,
I would
mhm.
imagine they have a pretty good pediatric cancer facility there.
Yeah, it's crazy how much it's like when I travel back for some of our events now and see family, it's crazy how much it's built up down there.
Hmm.
Just from like a proton therapy center, all of the clinics, Nemours there and Ronald McDonald House. I mean, it's almost like it's little town, right? Um, I mean, they're incredible there. They've done renovations at the hospital since I've left, and um, yeah, it
Yeah.
was a great community, great
Hmm.
community.
Yeah. And so what made it special when you were there getting the care that you had? What about the care? Let me ask it this way. What about the care you got that you felt motivated to to give back to them?
Um, honestly, I was closest with the child life specialist, and that's who I'm closest with today in my work.
Mhm.
Um, they are there to kind of be the almost like the Batman and Robin situation with the nurse, right? So they're there to make sure that you are not only getting your treatment, but you're having a good time um, while you're at the hospital or in clinic. They provide crafts, they provide new toys that are donated. They are focusing just on you for a moment while you're getting your port access, while you're having a transfusion, all the things, but they make sure that they help you feel special in that moment. And I adored my nurses and I adored my child life specialist because it was kind of that one-on-one time. Because I was so isolated from my friends that I felt like I could find some sort of spark of joy while I was going through something so dark. Um, and then I did have, some of my favorite doctors who were, you'd see them like a few times and they would be joking and just kind of like uplift you a little bit. But definitely the child life specialists and the nurses, they were, they were my like rocks during my
Right.
treatment. So
Right. That's great. Yeah. Um, it's, I think to be a pediatric doctor, and especially in something as critical as, cancer, you're as much a support person as you are a specialist in your area.
Mhm.
You should be at least, and the vast majority of them that I've come across with, some health of the children I've been with, they're really pretty good at it. And it takes I don't know, a special person to be like that. But then to have a child life specialist who's there, that's their primary goal, right? Is to make sure that you're
Yeah.
in decent spirits or you've got somebody there with you to kind of lean on and help you through it. How did your parents manage through all of this with you?
Um, I tell everyone my mom is an angel on earth. She's probably the strongest person I know. Um, Worked a full-time job, came on her lunch breaks, spent the night, and then repeated the process. Every day I was in treatment. And I don't think I would be where I am without her. I know I would not be where I am without her. And my dad and I grew the closest, actually when I got sick. And um, I think that that's one thing that I can see, not the only thing, but one of the positive things that I can take away from having cancer is just that strengthening of that bond with my dad, through that journey. So my parents were always there. They were learning too, right? This is not a normal journey for them as well, but um, they were always there if I needed something. My Mima, I was probably way too spoiled by my Mima, always showing up with some kind of new toy or something for
Yeah.
me. And I do think that that has also influenced my love language of gifts for the kids, and what I do. And just remembering that feeling of like getting a new doll or a new craft or something that reminded me, hey, you're still a kid in there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm so
Awesome.
grateful for my family.
So the act of giving is reminding you of the experience of receiving the gift from your grandmother, I guess, right?
Hmm.
Wow, what a great way to honor her.
Yeah. She's crazy strong as well. She just found out that her cancer relapsed, so it has been a very emotional, sorry.
I understand.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna get into it, but she's great.
Well, let's turn our focus to with
Yeah.
love. Let's turn our focus to the company you founded it in, I was going to say 2000,
2012. Yeah.
2012. Okay, so it's been around for about 12 years then.
We just celebrated 13 years.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, we always say Valentine's Day is our anniversary.
Okay.
Goes with our logo. Our name is with love. So, and that was our first official event that we did for Wolfson Children's Hospital. That was my first official drop off. And that
Okay.
was actually just a drop off. So we didn't even declare ourselves a nonprofit. We just called ourselves with love.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so what is a drop off?
So I did a toy drive. Um, all through November of the prior year to deliver for Christmas. And I was kindly rejected because Wolfson's got so many Christmas donations from big sponsors, and I didn't know all of the conditions, to donate toys. I thought I could just bring them.
Uh-huh.
And so I had to have a little pep talk with my mom, who was like, Tay, you are not just sick at Christmas time. Find the next holiday and let's, get more toys and deliver them for that. And I decided to create a Super Bowl party and have people bring toys. So even more toys, and called the hospital up, and I was like, hey, do you remember me? Can I please come back and deliver these items on Valentine's Day? And they were like, absolutely. Because when people think of Valentine's Day, they think of roses and flowers and bears and chocolates and balloons. And all of those things are pretty much items that cannot be donated to an oncology unit, right? Flowers, balloons for allergy purposes, chocolates for allergy purposes, and stuffed animals are actually not the best donation for those who have suppressed immune systems, because they can hold on to dust. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, so I was like, we have all of these toys and we would love to deliver them for Valentine's Day. So
Okay.
they said
So,
yes.
so did you walk around and distribute them yourself? Is that how it
So,
worked? Or
so funny story. I showed up just thinking it was going to be a drop off, which is
hmm.
why I call it a drop off.
Right?
Here's the toys, and we'll see you later. Um, but they asked if I wanted to come up and meet some of the kids, and at the time, I did not. I was like shaking, like I didn't think I would respond well, trauma, all the things. But I'm so grateful that the child life specialist at the time and my mom were like, you need to go up there. So when I went up there, I met a few kids and totally changed how I felt about what I was doing. And I was more so affirmed that with love was my calling and my purpose. So we
That's
be
awesome.
we changed our focus from toy drives to doing something long term.
That is awesome. And so, the age of the kids that you started with and that you help or assist or support now, it's
Yeah, the very first kid I met, she was 2 months old.
oh
Uh,
wow.
the next one I met was about to turn 5. And there were a few others, but those first two were so significant because of the way that I was introduced to the families, and two, their response to me and to my mom. And that was, we needed to see her. She brought us hope when we couldn't find it.
Hmm.
And so that is why I say that we give hope with love, because it's my connection to the kid. It's my story that is bringing in the donations, and it's bringing in the events and the craft kits and the care packages, but it's the connection that I have to them and what they're going through that make us so unique and special. um and at 21 I had no idea. I just thought, here are some toys, but to see that it is so much more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you live in Nashville now.
I do.
And how long have you
Yes.
been living in Nashville?
Oh, I have been here for a little over 8 years now.
8 years.
And I love it. It's
Yeah.
volunteer state for a reason.
Yeah,
So
no question. So, and you're doing it here as well, or just back in Jacksonville?
yeah, so we are actually this is new for us this year, but we are fully Nashville. Um
Hmm.
we are transitioning some of our programs and kind of shifting them a little bit over the next few months. And it's not that I don't love Jacksonville and I didn't feel support from there. I just feel like I'm at a place in my life with love
Hmm.
where I really want to see what we can do here in Nashville. And I want to like hone in 100% here, since I am here, and just really focus on what we're doing in Music City, um, and then eventually maybe venture back to Jacksonville. Our care packages are all over the country. I ship them all over the country, but our programs are essentially centered here now.
Okay. And then what do the programs consist of? Is that spending time with children there and supporting
Yeah.
them in
So
different ways?
we have part of the holidays, which is our biggest one, and that is year round, right? So that's every single month. I'm in a hospital or a clinic and I am delivering craft kits or new teddy bears or some kind of toy donation to ensure that that treatment facility has something for that holiday, right?
Mm,
So St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so we'll do lucky craft kits. And it'll be all St. Patrick's Day themed, but it'll be like fun glasses, fun crafts, little like tchotchke items that are sensory, for them to keep them busy while
hmm.
they're at the clinic or at the hospital.
Hmm.
Um, but we're in every single month.
Hmm.
And the only time that we're kind of off is January, but every other month we're in there, and that's why we call it Heart of the Holidays, because all
I
year
see.
round.
I see.
So, um, and then our Sideline Smiles is where we take families or we give tickets to families to do sporting events, or musical events, something that'll get them outside of the hospital and create memories together, as a family. It's very important to me that not only does the patient or survivor feel uplifted, but also their siblings and
Hmm.
their parents. I mean, fighting cancer is a whole family thing. It's not just the child. And so I want to make sure that everyone feels included um, and all that we do in all our programs.
Yeah, that's awesome. What sparked the move to Nashville?
Um, honestly, I just felt like something was missing in my life. I didn't feel like I was personally growing, and I didn't feel like With Love was able to get out of the shadow of the bigger organizations that are established there. I was having a hard time finding the support, to build a board, to like really grow on a level that I wanted to. And I felt called here. I had friends up here and I was already had a vacation plan to come up here, and they were like, "Hey, you love it here. Why don't you just see if it'll work for you?" And it did. So I
Uh,
packed my bags and moved in 2017.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So it's been working, I assume, or else you wouldn't be, happy and staying here. What's what's behind Tay? It's not just you. You've got other people supporting and helping you, and I imagine you've got volunteers helping as well.
Yeah, so right now we are 100% volunteer, and it kind of is a Tay show. I do all of our marketing, all of our event coordination, planning, fundraising. But I am so blessed that I have incredible volunteers that step up for different events, bear builds, craft kit builds. My neighbors come to almost all of my fundraisers or share about them with their friends. And I just brought on a new VP, and she has already just shown me how much we can do that I didn't know we could do. And so yeah, so this is going to be a game-changing year for me. I'm ready to take us to the next level. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on that.
thank you.
You've got I would imagine you've got a good plan. You've got a lot of confidence in it. You're gonna grow it here in Nashville? Do you have plans to grow it beyond? So you ship around the country, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
so that was our third program is called our Golden Hero Boxes.
Hmm.
And that used to be called Toys with Tay. And that's where I would go into the hospitals one-on-one and meet with the kids. And COVID kind of changed that for us. So I had to shift my thinking, like, how can I still be present without being present? And so I created our Golden Hero Boxes in 2021 and decided that I would work with child life specialists across the country, but also like by word of mouth, social media, to find our families and ship those care packages out to our golden heroes, as I like to call them, but also super sibling bundles and make sure that the siblings are getting comfort kits as well. So
Great. And so is there plans to put like the programs or introduce the programs that you're putting on here in the other places?
Um, I would like to do that. First and foremost, I want to make sure we're like really established here and have our groundings here. And then my hopes for the start of 2026 is to create our ambassador program.
Hmm.
And essentially that would be survivors all over the country who are kind of doing what I do, but they are the ones that are fundraising and finding the families and we'll be able to send them all of the materials that they need to deliver hope.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I really would love to start an ambassador program, but also travel the country and speak at the different hospitals, and maybe do little events with them as I travel and speak.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great vision. Um, Tay, it's been such a pleasure having you on here and learning about With Love and a lot of your history and a lot of your story. If somebody wanted to reach out and help or
Yeah.
volunteer, if they're moved by our conversation here, where should they go?
Oh yeah, so I would love to also mention that our one of our biggest goals for this year is we are going to be remodeling the playroom and the oncology unit at TriStar Children's.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and this is probably our biggest project to date. And so we will be marketing and sharing about an upcoming fundraiser soon. So if people want to get involved or find out more about our mission here in Nashville, they can visit withlovecharity.org. And it's the same for all of our socials. It's With Love Charity.
That's fantastic. Well, Tay, thanks for being a guest on the podcast. Thanks for sharing with us. And give your grandmother a hug for me, huh?
I will. I'm hoping to see her this month. So I will totally send your love to her. And I appreciate you so much for having me on here and letting me share my story and helping me spread hope and light.
Yes. Well, you're more than welcome. It was such a pleasure having you on. All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.